World of Warcraft in Unreal Engine 5, because if it isn't an Unreal Engine 5, then it is, because it's modern gaming. Everything's cool. So, what is Turtle WoW? That's the thing to start off with.
Turtle WoW is a bad no-no server, which should not talk about or support in any capacity, because it goes against Blizzard's wishes. However, they have not shot Ascension in the head for advertising ever over the internet, so sure, they're happy enough. I will not have the audio on this because that would literally just be advertising for Turtle WoW because it's their trailer, and it's just voiceover. What we really want to show is what they actually do.
Yeah, so the thing that's relevant here, there's been people making mock-ups where they just import WoW assets into Unreal, then you watch a video, it looks cool.
Yeah, it's just like human with a default Unreal Engine.
Yeah. Now, like importing WoW assets into Unreal or Unity, like, Z's done that for ages. So you sort of make the pipeline for it, and you can do it. I guess it's just seemingly moving this into sort of full game production. That's fairly fairly interesting. So let's roll the visuals, and you will see.
Will this actually show? It will.
There are some things for which maybe you can see. Oh, it won't cool. work if Notion is in its small view. Yeah.
There it is instead.
One of the things though is it's so easy to lose the art style.
It does, yes.
Especially when you're moving to... Whoa.
Yeah, this is going.
Yeah. So
fantastic.
Especially when you're moving to something like Unreal. When you're moving to a lighting pipeline, I guess is pretty different to World of Warcraft. It's, WoW's textures, it's a lot of baked in shadows and stuff. We can skip. There's sort of
there's a little bit of build up,
for a while.
I actually hit the mute button there, friend.
So our shenanigans happen. There we go. It is HD now.
Yeah.
And yes, and in Unreal Engine 5. Which one assumes then the client stuff, the server stuff's pretty much all the same, right? It's just whichever client you're hopping in on.
You would hope so, yes.
So yeah, that's what they've done. Now,
extending the lifespan. I'm gonna hit with
it's tricky because you see there's individual things, like some of that individual grass may look grand, but it just doesn't look quite right. Within WoW.
Yeah, like look at the difference in like this.
It's like if you just go and give...
That's not right at all. Like it looks atmospheric, but it doesn't look...
so that's atmospheric, but they've really... it's not as... the colors aren't as cool as they used to be.
Yeah. The whole legacy mode thing. And the modern mode, which is full on everything.
1060.
Yeah.
I think we can handle it.
Yeah, big man. Yeah. Also, sport mobile devices. Yeah. So,
it's also on phone.
Yeah, which is interesting.
Great, Matt. That finally means there's a version of World of Warcraft to fight your favorite mobile game, Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
Which is allegedly coming to mobile.
Yeah, so very bloom and so very dark. That's not right at all was my reaction. The charm of WoW is a super cartoony look. You can't say anything. Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really cool thought experiment to be like, oh, like, look at that, like that. But also that has the look of I wish that text wasn't there. It has the look of like the Warcraft 3, campaign screens.
Well, if you want to see this done by, you can look at Kaleki's game. Legacy, Steel and Sorcery.
Yes.
Because it is in Unreal Engine 5. They're World of Warcraft developers.
Yeah, like that looks nice. But.
Yeah, some shots look better than others. I guess I just think about like materials and stuff. Like some of the materials there for the floor.
Why is the ground so shiny?
The speculars are too high. Sure, bring up the Legacy Steel and Sorcery thing, because if you wanted to see an evolution of the Warcraft art style, that I think is Warcraft 3 moving forwards.
Yeah, like look at the state of this. Look, it just is completely mismatched. It looks okay, but it just doesn't.
It's hard to pull it all together when you're making so many changes, especially because as well, people know what it looks like, so it's immediately going to feel a bit off and a bit weird.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting work, and I think Turtle in general, like both Turtle and Ascension, have been doing interesting things. So Ascension is classless. Turtle is all about sort of making new content.
Yeah.
Right. So they would actually, using WoW Edit and stuff, they would make new content and they would put it in their in their version of WoW, which we have to officially say for the record, Matt. This is for the record. Down with that sort of thing. That terrible piracy.
Down to that sort of thing. Down to that sort of thing. Asterisk. If Blizzard want to just yoink Ascension stuff and put it into as a season for Classic, do that.
/ why have they not killed both of these already?
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess they probably just don't want the bad PR, which is, I think, interesting because you look at sorry, audio. Hello, swap to me. No.
Hello.
I need to fix that.
Hey.
I was saying something.
Stuck in me now.
Yeah, I'll fix it and then we'll continue what I was talking about. Why did you just turn off?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe the switch to full screen did it, because that was completely fine for literally like 2 weeks without me touching it.
Wow.
Yeah, buddy.
Hey, wouldn't be us if there weren't some minor technical incidents.
It's not even our fault. It's the software's fault.
Yeah.
It's the software's fault.
It's the software.
It literally is.
Yeah, literally.
I paid good money for the software, right? I paid 50 quid for the software.
Once.
Yeah, once.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. I'm used to paying £2 until I die.
Yeah, I love it. There's times I open up the company account and a few grand's gone. I'm just like, yeah, that's Adobe for the year. Great. Great. Yes. I feel fantastic about this. Thing is, of course, and this is how it works with Adobe, it would cost us so much more than we would save by switching to a non-Adobe alternative. And, you've got to be pragmatic when you're planning this kind of thing, in this sort of serious professional context. So that's the funny thing with like Adobe just kind of capturing you in. But genuinely, I prefer Adobe's UIs to the likes of DaVinci Resolve.
Yeah.
Resolve's UI is a noose.
Yeah, I hate Adobe with a passion, but their software works okay most of the time.
It's really frustrating.
Most of the time.
So if you're to look at Legacy,
Sword on Sorcery.
Now this we may. What's how many HDs do we have?
We don't have enough.
We need more HD. Oh my god.
4,000 HDs.
So I think fairly good example of. It does have to go it's a little bit more real, but
you can see how like the character model is an actual match to the textures and the lighting works for it.
So we're saying this is like very early pre-alpha.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, you basically, if you want to see what happens when a bunch of World of Warcraft developers
the damage numbers are like just ruin everything.
Go and set about making a very directly inspired by Warcraft thing in Unreal Engine 5, but them using sort of modern techniques. It's funny, you've got this for the Warcraft team, I suppose. We don't really know what the other ex-Blizzard teams are doing, largely. The other one, of course, and it's coming out at the end of this month, is Stormgate.
Is it
where Stormgate's in UE5.
Yeah.
So
this is how we remember 2004. Wow, yeah. That's exactly kind of it. Like
that is probably the most mission accomplished you could get as feedback. So yeah, there you go. Good luck to them. I just brought it up because it's an example of Turtle WoW is WoW in Unreal Engine 5. This is a directly inspired by WoW thing in Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah.
And it gives you a little bit of a visual insight into the differences in materials.
Art design, basically. So what's your design?
Yeah, but also implementation.
Yeah, of course.
And of course, for Turtle, it's always going to be a bit of a, Herculean thing to do that.
Yeah, like on an individual level, actually props to them for doing what they do, because
that's the thing. Yeah,
going full screen kills Max Effect doing this. That's insane.
Sweet. So I think it's cool that the Turtle Wow people have done that, even just as a little development experiment, like props. That's interesting.
Sure
A
is.
bit of me does wonder, what would Blizzard think of this? Because now we're kind of moving their copyrighted shit into a new engine. I don't know if they'd be weird about that. I mean, it surely wouldn't be competing with, other than how this competes with WoW, obviously, but they haven't shut it down yet.
Discard my settings immediately.
It has just immediately discarded your settings. That's lovely.
Epic.
What could be interesting is how they develop this going forward. There's probably stuff there where, material-wise, they could make updates, and that would certainly make things look less shiny. Mm-hmm. Oh man, just think about the era where every character was wet, and everywhere was shiny and full of bloom, but also grey.
Yeah,
and brown.
Brown, bloom, piss filter gaming, and I kind of miss it. Because in some areas they did use the piss filter as a bit of art design.
Yeah.
Hello, Snake Eater. That's the big one people talk about recently, with Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater being a thing, and they're like, you removed the piss filter? It doesn't look like someone dipped my camera in, what
piss?
do you want to say? Piss, yeah.
That's that, yeah.
It doesn't look right to me, please. And then you see all of the shooters that are just here's brown. It's brown on brown on brown, either because they're set in, the Middle East, or because they're set on a planet that looks suspiciously like the Middle East. You're like, okay, fantastic. Everything's brown and piss. Wonderful. Which I actually, it was terrible. It was terrible, but I do prefer it to the everything is Unreal Engine 5 shiny. I don't like that very much.
So much of that's just implementation.
Yeah.
It shouldn't look UE5 shiny.
Yeah, but everything from Unreal Engine 3 looking like dog shit was implementation as well. And everything looking fucking piss filter was implementation.
That's the unique art style of the Mass Effect series.
It's just all bad. It's just all bad the whole way. All terrible.
What's that thing with default tools? When you're looking at indie games, you can see the Universal Render Pipeline URP in Unity. Is, I don't think it's super new. It's new to me because my brain is stuck in 2015, 2016 Unity probably.
Same.
Yeah.
Everyone will probably know that Sanai from Toho panel where it's just what do you mean? The PS2 is pretty new, right?
Oh
it's
no!
That is my perpetual existence.
They moved to the Universal. They moved to URP, and you really do see. Well, it's the default effect. Normally, people use the organ donation card thing as the explainer for the default effect, where the vast majority of Americans think, "Yep, donate to science." Asterix, you might be used to test a grenade. That stuff's incredibly grim, but anyway.
What, do they put a grenade inside your stomach and go, what happens? Nice.
Yeah, that's been done with cadavers. Yeah, there's definitely, that's not used fully within the scope that people understand it. I don't know if there's a big problem with it in the UK, but I know that there's actually sketchy body dealing stuff going on in the States. So that's all well and cool. The point of the default effect, though, is the population broadly thinks, yes, we should do this, but it's opt-in instead of opt-out. So even though across UK, EU, and US, populations agree, because I guess the idea of organ transplant, good. But because it's default here and not default in the States, you have a massive difference in the participation. So I think it's a little with these engines, with their default features, default render, URP in Unity. I don't know any Unreal Engine stuff, so I imagine similar there. There's just a lot of indie games. You look at them and you're like, oh yeah, I see all of that. Whereas even seeing new shader work being done by shader specialists on game that I am tangentially related to, as compared to other games, similar genre, same engine, and you're like, yeah, getting a specialist to do the materials really, to do shaders really, really saved your ass. As in, you need that to make certain art styles look good in a game, basically. So, anyway, that was a total flipping deviation. But I guess if people are wondering, why does UE3 look like UE3? Why does UE5 look like this? You know, what's going on? It's sort of that.
It's why that line in
The defaults
in the trailer being, you know, extending the lifespan. I like, obviously from a technical perspective, in terms of this game is now like optimized for modern stuff and other platforms. That's definitely true. But if it's on the graphical
play World of
aspect,
Warcraft on your Motorola Razr Flip.
fantastic.
That'd be great.
I'd love one of those just to have. Not to use as food, just to have, which is obviously terrible. But because I used to have, was it the Sliver? What's it called, the Sliver?
The Razr, the white, the silvery one.
No, I didn't have the Razor. I had
The Sliver.
What's the Sliver? Sorry, we've gone off the rails. Is it the Sliver? Yeah, I had a Sliver. L7.
Of course it was spelled.
SLVR. Owls are beautiful.
That was an error.
Beautiful creature. I'd love one of those games.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are the days.
Yes, it was the line about them extending the lifespan. Lifespan. Like,
could be yours for 13 quid. Pre-owned. There you go.
Yeah, the graphically that doesn't extend the lifespan. That actually wrecks it. The reason World of Warcraft actually still manages to look good is because they are very carefully adapting how things look. But you go back into the past and you see things, you're like, that's actually just looks great. Like
brackets, yes, but I don't know if it's texture streaming or whatever it is. The game still doesn't really work for dragon riding and modern content.
Yeah, the game still sucks technically. It sucks. I mean, all games suck technically. I've yet to play a game that's good.